talking about when you decide not to invest, just kind of segueing from your last statement, how do you look at risk when deciding to invest? Like, what are the quick things that you see as risk, and what are the risks that you're comfortable with? What are the risks that you're uncomfortable with?
It's exactly that. You always have risks. There are some that make you too uncomfortable and you decide not to invest. There are some that you can digest. I think the important thing is to try to identify what are the things that you don't know, what are the risks that are out there, and with that, define, okay, we can stand this kind of risks or we cannot. And I think that the ones we typically try to avoid are the ones, on the one hand, related to single point of failures. So if everything depends on one thing, one decision, one platform, one decision maker, those are things we try to avoid, because many things will not work. But as long as you have other avenues to try to recreate what you thought was going to be the way to go from point A to point B, that's fine. I think that when there's only one route and suddenly that route can be blocked by one person or by one organization, we want to avoid that. Then the other things is when we hear founders pitching an idea that makes sense, but that idea needs then a second idea and sometimes even a third idea to build a profitable, sustainable company. So we don't mind experiencing many risks to try to build that first idea, but that idea per se is one that is sustainable. Then on top of that, maybe you can put more things on it and it will be even better. But you don't need the others because it's exponential risk, right? So you need to go from point A to B, and there are many hurdles on the way from A to B. Fine, but once you get to B, it is a nice spot to be at. It's not that you necessarily need to go to point C. C is a nice to have, and if you do that, it's even better, but it's a nice to have, not a must have. And when we see founders, this is about creating this really complex database where we will have amazing information. Great, and what will you do with that information? Then we need to decide how we're going to sell that information to industry A or B. It's really exponential risks, the ones you're taking, because it is the risk from going from A to B and then from B to C, right? So those are the ones we try to avoid. And then another thing is, in this industry, we're all the time investing for the future. So we don't mind investing today and having a very negative bottom line, as long as, I was saying earlier, that bottom line, that negative bottom line is because you're building something for the future. You're investing in your technology team or your technology stack or on somehow branding or something that eventually will stay over time and will allow you to be more successful a quarter from now or a year from now or 5 years from now. But when companies have really negative contribution margins and you're somehow buying or building something for 10 and you sell that for 5, that makes us really, really, really uncomfortable, because then it's easy to sell. Like if I start buying anything in the market and then try to sell it at a discount, I may probably sell it, right? Because if there was a price that was 10 and I'm selling it at 8, I might find buyers. But do I have a business there? Challenging. And that idea that eventually with lots of volume, we're going to be able to have critical mass that will allow us to renegotiate that purchasing price, and that purchasing price will go down. I think it's a challenging one. So negative contribution margins is something that makes us hesitate a lot. So those are a few things. Obviously, there are many more, but those are the ones that we typically try to avoid.